Hey Clashers, and welcome back to another video. Well, the last couple of days I tried the most common queen short based attacks and tried to somehow rank them, try them out in Legends, see how effective they are, how difficult they are, how for example, how easy you can recover your attacks and so on. So I thought I would just showcase all of those 4 strategies to you, explain how they're getting used, which is pretty much like a mini guide in this video. And at the end of the video, I would just compare all of them. So whenever you thinking about okay, I'm really trying to find a really good new strategy for me, this video is the perfect space, space for you, the perfect video. So let's try to get into it. Let's take a look at the first strategy. Obviously, all of those strategies are linked down below in the description with the strategy link. And, well, let's get started. The first strategy is Queen Short Dragonrider. This, by the way, is not the ranking yet. It's in a random order, but we're starting with Queen Short Dragonrider. So let's talk about Queen Short Dragonrider first and how you should use them. The first thing, a priority thing, is always go, if possible, for the Town Hall. This is a really nice thing to go for, really safe, but sometimes, in this base, for example, it's not that efficient. There is so many X-bows, which means there's a lot of rages need to be used and so on. Yeah, you have most of the time the rages, but sometimes going for the Town Hall might not be the best move, because this is a really unique thing with the Queen Charge Dragon Riders, where you can really see their power still, even the nerf after the last update. Because this is, all of those rankings are based on stats after the update, and Dragon Riders are still strong if you can make that Queen Charge work. Because the power of Dragon Riders is having a back end Town Hall is no problem whatsoever for them. And this is something which makes Dragon Riders so much more stronger than any of the other strategies on this specific part. The next thing is you can have the Town Hall on the Dragon Rider part. But important, and that's really important, is first, you cannot start into the Town Hall. You can have not the Town Hall in the middle of the Dragon Rider attack. You need to have the Town Hall at the end. Which, first off, and I can fully understand this, sounds really risky. But at the end of the day, it's kind of comparable to, for example, P.E.K.K.A. Smash and a lock launcher or a Siege Sparks attack getting into the base from the opposite side of the Town Hall. Which sounds and which is risky when you try it the first couple of times, but as you're getting the hang out of it, as you're practicing this technique and everything, it's getting safer and safer. So even though those attacks look risky, they are not as risky as you might think. So what the key thing is pretty much creating a pathing. Creating a pathing for the Dragon Riders towards the Town Hall. And even though on this one, the Town Hall is pretty much the last building in this base, this should still work. The next thing which I really like about Dragon Riders is everything in this army is pretty much flexible. Which means, yes, you have the Queen Charge, but then you can use the King for funneling, you can use the King for a compartment dive, you can use the Royal Champion with the King, you can use the ground, you can use the Air Warden, you can use pretty much everything in their own specific way. Siege machines as well, you can use the Blimp, you can use the Slammer, you can use the Lock Launcher. So many different options which you have with this army composition. You can see exactly why it's so powerful. Nearly all of the Dragon Riders are still alive, coming in from this other side of the Town Hall, and this Town Hall is going down within seconds. Then the Town Hall poison itself, that's the dangerous thing. And that's why I say you need to have the Town Hall at the end of your attack, because otherwise if it's in the middle, the Dragon Riders have a lot of problem. Or even in the start, it's even worse. So having to try to face the Town Hall at the end is a really good technique. Otherwise, going for the Town Hall is a really good technique as well with their Queen Charge. But this is bringing us to the next strategy where you don't have as much flexibility. It's Queen Charge Hybrid. And yes, Queen Charge Hybrid sometimes seems really limited in the options which you have, because you nearly always want to go for the Town Hall. Obviously, on a ring basis, for example, it's not really working. But everything else, as soon as you don't have one of those ring bases, just try to charge the Town Hall. And as long as you're doing that, you're looking good. Because there's nearly no base out there, except if it's a really heavy baited entry with spring traps. If that's not the case, and you get the Town Hall and you get the clan castle, not the building, but the troops inside the clan castle down, and you can take them out, this is already most of the time enough to make your hybrid work. And this is where this strategy is just so incredible powerful. Take down Town Hall and Clan Castle and you're looking good. The next thing which I have learned over the last couple of days trying to get back to hybrid is, the first thing is Start with your hybrid early. Don't wait too long. In Queen Charge Lalo, Queen Charge Dragonrider attacks, for example, you can wait a ton of time until starting with your Dragonrider or with your Lalo. And this is pretty good most of the time, letting your queen do some work. But with this strategy, you're really limited on the power with the queen, which means you have to start way earlier with your hybrid and you have to split up the damage. This is where this strategy is so powerful. You can make sure that the defensive buildings have to choose if they have to target the queen or if they want to shoot the hybrid. They have to decide, and whatever the decision is, it's bad because the other troop then or the other instance can push even stronger. On this strategy, like on this specific base, when I saw it, like in the beginning, like I did the attack in my live stream, I was raging so bad. Like, how is hybrid even possible? What would you want to do? There's a double single Inferno Tower behind the town hall. Like, I have no chance whatsoever. Well, I was kind of surprised how good this worked. Even if, and that's a really good thing about hybrid as well, even if your queen is dying, like let's say I would have let my queen die right there, that would have been no problem because the big benefit of having a ground follow-up is that your healers can transition over to your hybrid. So they're never really wasted. In like in Lalo or Dragonrider attack, letting your queen die is pretty much GG. It's really, really unlikely that you're saving the attack after that. With hybrid, that's a complete different story. You can still 3-star after your queen dying if you got, for example, the town hall. So this, for example, is pretty crazy. So hybrid is incredibly strong as you can queen charge the town hall. But at the same side, after now speaking so highly of hybrid, you have to see the downside of this strategy as well, which is not really like it is. You always have to think about that as well. So obviously when you can queen charge the town hall, you're looking great. But what is in, like, for example, what is if a base is looking like this, for example? If it's a ring base, then your time is really miserable. And I won't show the entire attack, but just a question to you guys out there. Let me know in the comments, how would you attack this? I can spoil already. I tried to queen charge in from 10 o'clock and then like all the way up. And then the hybrid in from the roundabout 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock side with the king in from the bottom side. And that did not work at all. So as soon as you cannot queen charge the town hall, hybrid is sometimes going to struggle. The next strategy is going to queen charge Hogrider. And that's another ground-based strategy after the queen charge. So how do you do that one? In this one, you have more flexibility compared to queen charge hybrid, but at the same time, it is, even though it's more fancy, sometimes I feel like fancy is not the best way to go for, because sometimes fancy is a bit worse, because sometimes the easy way is the better way. So with this Hogrider attack, you really need to make your queen charge count. If this queen charge is taking down a lot of buildings, and we have the same priority list pretty much over here as well, if you can take down the town hall and you're looking good after that, then you can 3-star quite a few of those bases. But the important thing is, with the Queen Charge Hogrider, even after your queen got out of value, like the town hall, like the clan castle, you need to take down more with your queen charge in this specific army. Because you have a lot of resources which you're investing into that queen. So for example, you don't have a siege barracks which you use for funneling for your hybrid. You don't have a king which you're using for funneling for your hog riders, right? So you have to find some other value for those important troops. And if you can't find those, then you're pretty much screwed. So you really have to think about where and how do I use my king? How do I use my blimp efficiently? At the same time though, you can switch up your siege machines as well. To a slammer, to a blimp, to a lock launcher. You have this variety in there as well. But if you combine all of this together perfectly, and if you have a nice queen charge, which is getting a lot of value like this one, for example, where you can take down the town hall, 1 or 2 scatter shots, and you have a great blimp at the same time as well, then you're looking good. Because you can just use those hog reds for the top side. I have the royal champion in the core as well. My queen is still pushing through. Now I'm just adding those hog riders, and 23 hog riders are still pretty strong. At the same time though, you have to use the warden with those hogs. On the same time, for example, we had the air attack with Dragonrider, where you could in theory use the ground warden with your king or royal champ together as well. That's no problem. But with ground, you really like hog riders without the warden aura they are awful. Like really, they're straight up really, really bad. But with this queen charge, we can even nearly swag the heal spell. Just because I don't want to fail on stream, I just did use the heal spell right there. So this is going to be the next 3-star for us, and this is the 3rd strategy on my list. The next strategy should be kind of obvious, to be honest. The next strategy is going to be, it's going to be Queen Charge Lalo, and we're going to talk about that one last, and then I'm going to go into my conclusion, kind of like into my ranking I'm going to use that for Legends, and I'm going to do the ranking for Clan War. So let's get into the Lalo attack in just a second, as my Hog Riders are finishing off this base, and the Queen Charge did an amazing job. So really quick rundown of the priority list of Hog Riders. Town Hall, really important. You always have to go with the Town Hall first. Or like Town Hall down for sure with the Queen Charge. And then after that, Clan Castle is pretty nice, and taking down every single hero is important as well. But now, it's Lalo time, baby. And I have to say, Queen Charge Lalo at the moment is so much fun. Why exactly? So let's talk about the strength of this armor composition. First off, the Queen Charge is pretty much the same as, for example, like in Hog Rider attack, but at the same time, you have more spells for your Queen Charge which you can invest. So for example, in a Queen Charge Hog Rider, you have at least one heal, which is not really usable for a Queen Charge, right? So that's already out of the way. So your Queen Charge is a little bit less powerful with Hog Riders. In addition to that, you can use so many different sieges. You can use the Slammer, Blimp, and Log Launcher, as well with this Queen Charge. And then the cool thing as well, you can use Ground and Air Warden. This is something which I really want to highlight in this attack. The next thing, Royal Champion. I'm just using the Royal Champion for funneling, just trying to take down the pathing which is needed. To be honest, I was a bit late, so that's why I had to use the Royal Champion ability early. But now the Queen's just charging in there. But at this point, I'm having a problem. I'm having a big problem, because right now I have, like, there are 4 max expos. This base is maxed out after the update, I think, pretty much, except maybe Waters. But except that, it's pretty much maxed out. So I have a problem. There are 4 expos firing at my queen. What should I do? The king on its own, the king won't take down all of those expos. So what I think, like, hey, I have my Warden. So let's just use that Warden ability to protect those barbarians, to make sure that my king is actually taking down the queen, taking down the expos, taking down everything which is shooting my queen then. So my queen is staying alive, my queen take down the eagle, 2 scatter shots, the town hall, and everything in this base is pretty much done. I used the invisibility spell in the beginning to make sure that another multi-inferno tower is down. At this point, it's like a double multi-inferno tower wizard tower set up at the back end, which I can then easily take down with my Slammer. So you can see the creativity in this attack strategy is pretty much limitless. And this is what I, at the moment, enjoy so much. But at the same time, the downside of this thing then is, because there is no clear structure in what you have or what you should do, which is making it then a really, really hard strategy to pick up. But at the same time, if you're a town of 9 or above, Lalo, Queen Charge Lalo in general, is always a good option to go for. It will take some time. Trust me, it will take a couple of weeks, depending on how fast you learn, maybe even a month or maybe a little bit longer. And there's every single day where you can learn something new. But if you master Queen Charge Lalo, you have mastered Clash of Clans. So let's like a really quick rundown. Town Hall, really, really nice if you can take that with the Queen Charge, but you don't have to. Obviously, Royal Champion and Queen on the defense is really nice as well. Scatter shots out of the defensive side, like defensive powerhouses like Scatter Shots, Eagle, multi-inferno towers. All of this is really nice to take down with their Queen Charge. But except that, let's get into the ranking. As I said, I have 2 categories. The first one is Legends, the second one is Clan War. Let's start with the Legend ranking. Let's start with number 4 actually. My number 4 in Legends is actually, well, did you guess it? Nope, it's not Queen Charge Hybrid, it's Queen Charge Hog Riders. I feel like Queen Charge Hog Riders feels just like a weaker version of Queen Charge Lalo. At the same time, they're not as, like, really limited, and if your Queen Charge is going wrong, you are done. Like, it's GG. And this is already bringing us to the second strategy, because the second one is going to be Queen Charge Hybrid. And the big advantage of Queen Charge Hybrid compared to Queen Charge Hog, even though you have more variety, for example, is pretty easy, because in Queen Charge Hybrid, you can save attacks even if your queen is going down. In Hog Rider attacks, it's nearly impossible, I feel like. At least with Queen Charge Hogs, I struggled the most with this strategy the first couple of days in Legends. And Queen Charge Hybrid, as I said earlier already, I did really well with that. Like, I had a perfect day with Queen Charge Hybrid, and then like 2 days around 300. So, which is really good. As long as you don't face those really annoying ring bases with Queen Charge Hybrid, you're looking great. I feel like this is something which you really have to like kind of accept with Queen Charge Hybrid. You obviously can still try to beat the ring bases, but at the same time, as you're facing a ring base, you can just say, okay, like, that's unfortunate. Let's just try to at least get the 2-star. And then as much percentages, maybe a 3-star if everything goes well and if the trap placement is not perfect on the defender side. But other than that, let's just go for the next diamond base or whatever way can charge the tunnel and just 3-star the base easily. That's why my 3rd seed is going to be Queen Charge Hybrid. And this is getting us into the top 2. Number 2, in my opinion, after the last update is going to be Queen Charge Dragonrider. Queen Charge Dragonrider is still incredibly strong. Yeah, they had the nerf, but at the same time, come on, Queen Charge Dragonrider was so powerful before that, so that's not the biggest problem overall. The next thing why I think Queen Charge Dragonrider is on the second spot for sure is the Queen Charge. You have so much flexibility, and if you take down like 70% of the base, you don't care about what is the follow-up. So that's why Dragon Riders are so powerful. They don't need any spells whatsoever. The only downside now is with overall the range nerf. It's obviously a little bit less HP at the same time as well because they take more damage, and it's a little bit less DPS, which means they take a little bit longer as well. So overall, time is more often an issue with Queen Charge Dragon Rider. And this is bringing us to the number 1 seed because Queen Charge Lalo is pretty easy to compare with the Dragon Riders. Yes, you can't really have this back-end tunnel with Queen Charge Lalo, which is a downside, but at the same time, why I rank Queen Charge Lalo above Queen Charge Dragon Rider is pretty much, I think power-wise, both of those strategies really rely on the Queen Charge, and if they work, both strategies are going to work as well, but at the same time, Queen Charge Lalo, in my opinion, is quicker, which makes this strategy then, for me personally, better to use because having a longer Queen Charge, obviously, is like you can take down more of the base, so the back end part has not to be as powerful anymore. Dragon Rider, as I said, a little bit less DPS due to the range nerf overall, so they have to fly a longer distance. So overall, I think just Dragon Rider, based on that, is a little bit weaker, in my opinion, to Lalo. So let's get quickly into the Clan War rankings as well, because in Clan War, we're going to number 1 to number 4 seed. Number 1, still Queen Charge Lalo, in my opinion, but really, pretty much, I guess number 1 and number 2 are the same, which is Queen Charge Lalo and Queen Charge Dragon Rider. Number 3 is going to be Queen Charge Hogs, and number 4, Queen Charge Hybrid. Why exactly? I think you can really outsmart your opponent, especially considering that this ranking is for like mostly competitive play. You can, with Queen Charge Hog Riders, more dodge the defending spring traps with like really creative approaches because you have so much creativity in this attack strategy compared to Queen Charge Hybrid. It's easier to bait. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching for the video. I will see you guys back tomorrow. Let me know what you think of that ranking down below in the description. Until then, see ya and bye bye.